I will discriminate non-binary people. I only accept binary. Yes or bi. I won't chase maybes. Second rule, I will do zero sales calls. Third rule, I will cap spots at 84 operators and raise prices as I go. These are the rules of my plan to go to 83k per month profit without sales calls before Q2 2026. Now, I'm going to show you the process I will follow to achieve this goal. But before, I'll tell you why I'm announcing it publicly and why I'm doing things differently this time. So, I was reading Think and Grow Rich on a Sunday afternoon near the river, having a good time by myself. And, there's a chapter that talks about sexual transmutation. And while I was reading this chapter, a Gymshark Baddie with white yoga pants was walking right in front of me. So I felt compelled to stop reading and just talk to her and get her Instagram. But that's a story for another time. The topic here is at page 28 of this book, there's something very important. Napoleon Hill, so the author, talks about the method by which desire for riches can be transmuted into its financial equivalent with 6 definite practical actions. And this book, I haven't read it for years. I actually started my entrepreneurial self-improvement journey with this book and a few others. And I wrote my financial goals next to this part, which I will read you in a second. And I'll tell you what those goals are and when I did achieve them. If you'd like to do so, I recommend you take a pen and paper so you can write your goals in a definite manner, which, according to this book, will help you achieve them. So first, fix in your mind the exact amount of money you desire. It is not sufficient merely to say, I want plenty of money. Be definite as to the amount. Second, determine exactly what you intend to give in return for the money you desire. There's no such thing as something for nothing. Third, establish a definite date when you intend to possess the money you desire. Fourth, create a definite plan for carrying out your desire and begin at once, whether you're ready or not, to put this plan into action. Fifth, write out a clear, concise statement of the amount of money you intend to acquire, name the time limit for its acquisition, state what you intend to give in return for the money, and describe clearly the plan through which you intend to accumulate it. Sixth, read your written statement aloud twice daily, once just before retiring at night and once after rising in the morning. As you read, see and feel and believe yourself already in possession of the money. Alright, the sixth part is up to you, but for now I'm just covering the first 5. And as I told you, I wrote my goals on the side of the page, and I wrote 4 numbers. 100,000 and an age goal, and 1,000,000 and an older age goal. I achieved the first goal of making 100,000 a year after the age I announced. But when it comes to the million, if I'm honest, I didn't do it for myself yet. I have others do it, but still not for myself. And the reason for that is that along the journey, I figured out that the most important thing wasn't just the number. It was the way to acquire it. You get what you give, and how you get it is linked to how you give it. There's a quote I like from Naval, which is, the only real test of intelligence is if you get what you want out of life. But I would personally add, the only real test of intelligence is if you get what you want and how you want it out of life. The how is important. Remember the time that is spent between reaching the goal and the journey to the goal. It's no surprise that you spend the vast majority of your time in accomplishing the goal, which is the process, where you might only spend a few minutes at the top of the mountain, appreciating the effort you've put to reach your goal, and then it becomes normal again. If you make sure that the process to the goal, which you will spend years in, is aligned with the suffering that you want to tolerate, I believe you've won the game. And you're winning it every day. The reason I'm doing things differently this time is because the last 2 years were chaotic. Of course, on paper, it looked like I won. I traveled the world. I met great people. I went to the desert, which I love. I ate smoothie bowls. I had basically a good time everywhere and I could move freely as I wanted. I made some money and I helped others do the same using my methods that I practiced over the years. But despite all of that, I fell into the classic scaling psyop. Sales calls, closers, setters, revenue metrics. I did things the way people expected me to do them. And I even spent 5 figures building a machine I didn't even want to run. A revenue first prison. So this time I'm doing it profit first, man first, freedom first. And I've set a new goal: productize myself into a 83K profit per month business without all the scaling BS, and help others skip 2 years of detours, burned cash, and burnout. And side note, I initially announced my goal of reaching 42K monthly profit because I liked the number and it seemed more realistic. But I thought, why set myself for half goals? Why set the summit to 500,000 when you can have a full million, right? It's like seeing the glass half full when you can see it full. And by the way, the intrinsic reason that pushes me to do this is all around this simple sentence: I want to be able to leave tomorrow. And that little sentence here implies a lot of different factors. I first thought of this when I was in Waikiki, Hawaii, 20 years old. It's when I first tasted freedom, the ability to go wherever on earth, and it just opened my mind. There was no going back from this. It made me realize which path I needed to embark on to actually achieve this sentence, this truth here. Because if you leave tomorrow, you got to think that you have to be able to be independent geographically, financially, and also, like, I personally give a lot of importance to my parents, to my close relatives, and I want to be able to let them enjoy this life that I have. If it's just me, it doesn't matter. I'm not doing it just for me. I want to make sure that my close relatives enjoy that as well, and that whenever they get sick or they have some problems, I get to solve it. And on top of that, have the freedom to do whatever we want with it in order to respect the time that I'm given on this earth. Even though I could have just followed up with this model where you hire closers, setters, and all that stuff, and then you just delegate and you basically manage the team that does the work. Okay, I know about this. I've had people do it. It's just that I feel like the world doesn't need more of these. I like to bring efficiency. Why efficiency? Because efficiency is the way I give respect to the time I'm given on this earth. This is how I see it. And if you're like me, then this plan will suit you. The reason I'm doing it as well is because I want to improve on the brand, brain, and body aspects of my life. The brand, in my opinion, is one of the most important assets of today's world. It's even more important than Bitcoin, cash, AI, whatever. In fact, it's actually the asset that is a hedge against AI, because as soon as AI replaces all the jobs, all the complicated things we can do, then what is left for humanity? Well, human generated stuff, which is why people still watch chess competition, even though humans have been beaten at this game a long time ago, right? People crave that human relationship. Now, brain, it's about having sovereignty over my thoughts, because I can't be free if I'm dependent on someone, because whenever my values aren't aligned with the person I'm dependent on, then I'm in for a bad time. And lastly, the body, sovereign of my body, which means my physical presence in this world. I want to be able to wake up at whatever time and have my body in wherever location I want. So brand, brain, body. Now, here's a plan to 1 million a year. So I'll start with 30 minutes of daily writing. And those writing sessions will help me publish a daily newsletter every day, daily social posts, which are made for Instagram but repurposed on LinkedIn and other platforms, a daily reel, which is as well repurposed on YouTube Shorts and TikToks, and a weekly YouTube video, because this is where I get the most leads from. This is my most effective channel, and I haven't been working too much on it, honestly. Now, I will use the daily newsletters to sell my offers, and I will use all of these social posts to grow my list, through which I will sell. Now, as I said, I'll do daily offers through my newsletters only. One insight a day, one offer a day. And those offers will help people like Martin, who spent years making content without turning it into income. And in less than 12 weeks, he built a system that attracts clients asking to work with him. Or Suba, who turned 40K months into 40K weeks by leveraging authority and storytelling. And he went from selling what he does to selling what he knows. Or Vaibhav, who started afraid to charge $500 to now serving speakers all around the world and having a 13-person team. And plenty others people who've used my methods to generate money in the way they wanted to do it. Email subscribers will have more benefits than social media followers. And what I'm selling is access to me through different layers of my sovereign stack, starting with the systems, templates, and tools that helped agencies, creators, coaches hit 5K all the way up to 100K months. And then systems plus direct feedback from me, customized to any situation. And lastly, everything above plus hands-on implementation to go faster. I'll make it very easy to start because businesses have 60 to 70% chance of selling to an existing customer, while the probability of selling to a new prospect is only 5 to 20%. And so my goal is to create as many customers as possible here by selling at the lowest possible now number. And I want them to see the value ASAP and choose to become clients. This is what allows me to avoid sales calls with prospects who didn't even have the intention to buy first, which means I can invest more time in helping my clients. Next, I will raise prices because scaling to infinity comes with infinite stress. So I'll cap spots at 84 operators. As more members join, access to me becomes scarce. So I'll raise prices accordingly to keep quality high and focus on making the product better. I'll raise prices when we reach 25%, 50%, and 75% of the max intake. Following up with IRL time chambers. The internet connects us, but the in-persons transforms us. Most of your audience is probably never going to buy anything. Hundreds of them are going to spend a few $100s. A dozen are going to become clients, and less than a head can count are going to become partners you can make life-changing money with. That's who I want to go in the trenches with. So I'll host time chambers where we compress months and days in order to get stuff done and have fun doing it. And as I said, the rules will be silent sales, non-binary discrimination, no maybes, and limited spot. So that's the plan. God willingly, this will lead to 83K profit every month before Q2 2026. Subscribe to the newsletter below to either watch me fail or follow along the journey and learn the lessons with me. See you in the trenches.